Hey guys, I got a question for you. What is it about humans that makes us so competitive to want to know where we stand on the income level scale, right? What is it about our competitive nature that makes us so interested in everyone else's income level? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I came across a video that went viral from one of my subscribers. Her name is Rashida Herbers, and I'll link her in the description below, and I'll link a video that went viral for her on the income level pyramid. You've probably seen lots of videos throughout the years with this same pyramid, and there's like a where are you arrow to where you stand on the pyramid chain when it comes to income levels. Now, shout out to the YouTube content creator. She's a Finfluencer, talking about finance, really niched down, and the video was really well done. I watched the whole thing, really polished and lots of B-roll. She had, good text rolling across the screen and all that jazz. And she's really good at that. So shout out to you, Rashida, and congratulations. That video went hyper viral. I think it's up to like 400,000 views. And I'm a little jealous, I won't lie. But anyways, congrats. And yeah, you guys should take a look at the video. It's pretty good. But it got me thinking, it got me wondering, why do people care about this so much? When I've seen from other finance YouTubers how to become a millionaire, as well as myself, I did a video on how to become a millionaire and it got like 140 views. Now, granted, I didn't have as much content on my channel. Maybe it could have gotten more today. But even on this other Finfluencer's channel, not Rashida, but another one I found, which is pretty big, she had a video there that had the pyramid. She had the same video as Rashida, a pyramid of all the income levels. But then she also had a millionaire video, and that one only got like 13,000 views. And her pyramid one got like 300,000 views, similar to Rashida, right? So it got me wondering, what is it about the comparison in these class levels? Is it that people just want to know where they stand, like the arrow? They want to know, okay, where am I at? As far as this arbitrary classification, okay, because that's what it is. It's an arbitrary classification so that bureaucrats and, finance people can classify people into different levels to give them probably different credit ratings at the end of the day, But there's a lot of funny aspects to that when you think about it. So let's talk about those aspects when it comes to this pyramid chain of income levels, okay? So you want to know where you are. Maybe that's why you click on the video, okay? What else could it be? It could also be, what lifestyle you want to maybe have someday, okay? These videos, they show, okay, here's the lifestyle you're going to have when you're in the lower class. Here's the lifestyle at middle class. And here's the lifestyle at upper class, right? What can you buy? What kind of restaurants can you go to? How many trips can you take a year? What kind of house you're going to have, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe people want to know what lifestyle you can have, right? Maybe it's, people want to know different professions that provide different income levels. That's a good reason to go and click on one of these videos. Maybe you're like, oh, how do I make $100,000? What do I got to do? I got to become a software engineer or a doctor or whatever. That's a legit reason to click on these videos, okay? But I'm going to take the opposite approach. And I've done this before in previous videos where I've talked about, going from 100K to $1 million is so much easier, isn't it? Right? I'm more of a contrarian YouTuber when it comes to this finance space. And let me tell you why. Because everyone who's in this pyramid, okay, they're miserable. They're miserable, okay? You know why? Because 97% of them aren't in the millionaire category. They're not worth $1 million. Only 3% of people who retire with $1 million. And all the rest of the people in this pyramid, they're miserable because they're broke, all right? Whether you're in the lower class, the middle class, and the upper class, you can be in the upper class and be a doctor and be broke. Be miserable and broke, because you could go out with all the income you generate and go and buy the biggest house and the biggest Lambo and the Mercedes and the BMWs and the Tesla Cybertrucks, all that jazz. And that is why that chart is really worthless when it comes to exploring that chart. Because what it does is it clouds your brain into, oh, if I move up, I get to buy this BMW. I get to live this lifestyle. And all the while, you're not trying to get to the millionaire club, right? The millionaire club is where you want to be. You want to be outside and above the pyramid, okay? And that's called freedom, all right? And if you work your way up the class pyramid, like these videos say, you'll just start spending money because that video injects in your brain, hey, I can live this lifestyle now, okay? Rather than, making an extra income if you do happen to move up in those income brackets and living a lifestyle of lower to middle class. You get my point? Because if you live outside your means or within your or right at your means, you'll never become a millionaire, okay? For about 20 years in my life, I lived like that, okay? My income was at the upper class level, but I lived probably a middle to lower class lifestyle, okay? And what did I do the whole time? I just stuck my money into retirement, stuck my money into retirement. That's how you become a millionaire. And that's how you get out of the stupid pyramid, right? The pyramid that 400,000 people, hey, congrats to Rashida for getting the 400,000 people who want to be part of the pyramid. But that's your 97% that want to stay in the pyramid. The 3% people come and check out my channel because they know what it takes to become a millionaire. And what's funny is that video that had, I said how to become a millionaire, this one guy commented, he's like, dude, you're exactly right. And that's the thing. No one wants to watch these videos on how to become a millionaire. They want to compare themselves to the upper class or the middle class or so on and so forth, right? That's the problem. Stop doing that, because the minute you see what an upper class lifestyle has to offer and you make that kind of money, let's say you upgrade in your career and your skills and you start making upper class income, if you live that lifestyle, you're going to be broke and you're going to keep having to work for the rest of your life, okay? Your goal should be to get out of that pyramid, okay? If you click on those videos and you see the lifestyle that you're going to have, because she did show the lifestyle, and she's right, that can be the lifestyle when you make it to upper class income. That's the wrong approach, in my opinion. Not, she did a good job on the video, but from my approach, I don't want to sell you that lifestyle, okay? I made a mistake even on buying this house, to be honest. I'm gonna come clean. I have felt regret on upgrading my home because I finally did have enough income to probably do this upgrade. I still love the home and all that, but I feel the stress. I feel like my life is locked in, kind of locked down. I'm like stuck because I have to work now to pay off this home, right? Because I fell into the trap of class upgrades, right, when my income level went up. Now, don't get me wrong, I have enough liquidity, I could pay off the house and I could, probably live off my income for a while. I don't want to do that, don't get me wrong, but that's the trap you fall into. I've been able to mitigate that trap by owning old cars. Okay, I drive a 2011 Ford Fusion. It's been paid off for 13, 14 years. All right, I drive an old minivan. It's relatively old. It's paid off though, right? I live in this neighborhood where I see BMWs and Mercedes and all these people who live upper class lives who are driving the most expensive cars and SUVs. But I'm driving around in my little podunk Ford Fusion Sport, but I still like the car, by the way. I've taken care of it, okay? But that's what you need to consider. Do you want to stay in the pyramid or do you want to get out? Okay, do you want to be a millionaire or do you just want to be upper class and you want to live a lifestyle? That's a question you have to answer yourself. Do you want to be part of the 97% or the 3%? The 3% of millionaires who retire, okay, $1 million. Not a lot of people are able to reach that, and that's because they live right at their lifestyle, their income level, or they live beyond it, okay? And they can never save enough cash on the sidelines, all right? Live a class level below, okay? And again, this is an arbitrary value for governments to rate credit ratings and for banks to do credit ratings. You shouldn't care if you're lower, middle, upper class. Honestly, do not care about that. What you should be caring about is how much money you got in the bank. That is what matters. How much money you have in retirement, okay? The car you drive The house you have doesn't matter. As long as it'll, fulfill your lifestyle as far as, how you want to operate with your family. But honestly, man, like, don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Save, save, save. That's what it's all about, okay? So anyways, it was a good video still. I'm happy for, the triangle does work. Maybe I'll do a triangle myself, right? Just to cater to the 97%. But I'm going to stick to the 3% because that's what this channel is all about. Making millions, okay? Building wealth. You build wealth by living below your means, okay? Your expenses should be lower than your income, period. And then you can save and invest and retire and be part of that 3% and get outside that triangle or that pyramid. So anyways, I'm not too frustrated about it. I think it's great. Content creators are doing a good job at figuring out what people want to watch. Obviously, maybe I need to change my style up. So anyways, like and subscribe if you could, and take a look at my previous video. And everyone, have a great day. Thanks.